Hello, all. It is Nicole McEwen, your realtor gal. Today, let's go over the 55 and older communities that are offered here in Parrish. We technically have four, one of which has not released pricing yet and have not released sales, but I would assume that it's probably coming here in August, September time. But we have Webb Bayview, we have Prosperity Lakes, and then we have Woodland Preserve by Culture Homes. Let's start with Webb Bayview. They're in their final phase, so there's just a few opportunities left as far as spec homes go, and I think there are a few lots that you can actually build on and pick your options and do the whole nine. But let's start with Webb Bayview, and if you're not familiar where that is, here is I-75 right here, and then here is Webb Bayview along Moccasin Walla Road right here. So Webb is Pulte. Pulte is the builder of Webb, and the Webb brand, if you will, is very, very, very heavily marketed to that active adult. So someone that really wants to utilize the amenities, someone that really wants to be involved in the community and go to the events and go to the cards and go to the water aerobics and the fitness classes and utilize the gym and go to the restaurant, go to the bar and meet people and socialize on a daily basis. Now I've sold probably seven or eight homes in here. And I will say that it's not necessarily retirees, if you will. I think most of my people still work and they work remote, but they are very heavily involved in the community. I have not heard one negative thing about the community, except for, the random nuances that every HOA and every community has, the normal gripes, if you will. But everyone that lives there loves it. And they utilize the pool every day, and they go to the restaurant and they go to the gym and they walk around and they have their golf carts and they go on golf cart rides and play the pickleball. So I would say that if you're looking into the 55 and older communities, that the Webb really isn't sleepy, I will say. Can I say that? I said it. It's not really sleepy. But it is very amenity rich and you are going to pay for it. So if amenities and, the social aspect of things isn't something that you are really looking for, then maybe there are different options for you. But Webb, the amenity center is stunning. It's beautiful. The pool is stunning. It looks like a resort. If you've ever been to some of the resorts in Mexico or Punta Cana, it looks almost exactly like that. Very, very well kept. Everyone's friendly in there. You drive in there, everyone waves. Everyone's out and about, walking their dogs, doing everything. And that's the Florida lifestyle, and that's really what they market it towards. So there are only a few opportunities left in here. So they are in their final phase. There was 4 phases in the community. So here is the general overview of the map. And I will say, as far as the lot layout and the community layout, most, if not, I would say most of the lots are on water or preserve. So most of the lots are really, 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 really nice lots. There's only a few that I would say weren't great because they butt up to either Carter Road or they're almost abutting Moccasin Walla Road. But in the fourth and final section, mostly everything is a really nice lot. So if you can see, there really isn't that many. I mean, you have a blue, there's a lot, the quick move-ins, a couple here. And I have a full list. And their incentives, they change daily. And I'm going to tell you something. If you're looking here and you're seeing these prices for the quick, if I can get to the quick move-ins, I'm really not going to go over the models or anything because, obviously you know what you're looking for if you're looking. But some of let's see. Like some of the prices that are listed on the website are not accurate. And if you go to Zillow, they're definitely not accurate. Let me see if the pricing is in here. So home price $549, is that accurate? Call me. If you're looking, call me. Because I really do have a list, and then their incentives change basically daily. The rate buy downs and the way they finagle all the numbers and everything, they change daily. So if you are seriously looking in here and you need an agent, please give me a call and we'll get it done and we'll get you the best price possible because they're trying to close out. Just letting you know. But the location of this neighborhood is really, really nice. It's right next to 75. You really don't hear 75. Up over here, you kind of hear it a little bit, but once they build all this out, it'll knock down that noise a little bit. But it's close to 75. It's right across the street from Publix. Um, there's a hospital going in right across from Carter. So it's a really nice location. It's quick, like I said, it's quick and easy to get to 75. And I will say, once Parrish is built out, so like in 15 years, the stuff that is way farther east, it's going to take forever to get to the highway. So I really think that this is a nice location. So we have Prosperity Lakes, which is Lennar. And let me show you on a map where that is. So here's Webb Bayview right here, and then here is Prosperity Lakes. So it's just south of Buckeye. So here's 75. So you would have to take Buckeye Road down to Carter south, then go to Moccasin Wallow to jump onto 75. I don't know if they have plans to do an on-ramp on Buckeye. I highly doubt it. There's a bridge that goes over 75 now that connects Palmetto. But Prosperity Lakes as a whole is very, very, very large. So you have the all age section, and then you have a 55 and older section. The 55 and older section resembles Medley at South Shore Bay in Wamama, if you've ever been up there, which is the 55 and older section of South Shore Bay, which is the lagoon community in Wamama. So the amenities haven't been completed yet. However, I really, really think that it will look exactly like Medley at South Shore Bay. So they have a clubhouse planned. I mean, this looks almost identical to Medley. A clubhouse planned. They will not have a huge restaurant the way Del Webb has a restaurant in the bar. It's going to be more of like a casual eatery. So the one in Medley, it's basically you can get like sandwiches, you can get chips, you can get sodas, that sort of thing. It's not like a huge grand dining room type of setting. It's just kind of more of like a casual little like deli, if you will. But you'll have the pool, you'll have bocce ball, you'll have pickleball, of course, because, of course you're going to have pickleball. Every neighborhood now is putting in pickleball. It's a new thing. Shuffleboard, tennis courts. Now, there will be another pool in the all age section as well, and you should be able to use that pool if you would like to. I'm assuming that the pool is not exclusive to the 55 and older guests, but the clubhouse is exclusive to the 55 and older guests in the 55 and older section. Now, if you're looking at homes and you're trying to stay within a certain budget, I think that Lennar and Prosperity Lakes is probably going to hit a lower price point. And if you have like a little bit of a lower budget, this is probably the best option for you. So if you really don't need all that amenity rich and all that like crazy, restaurant and this and that and the other, then I think the Prosperity Lakes is a good option. You can get a 3-car garage home for, high 4s, low 500s, whereas opposed to Del Webb Bayview, you're looking in the mid to high 6s and beyond that. So this also, I do really think that most of the lots here are really, really nice. Again, a lot of pond view, a lot of preserve. The only negative ones really have already been sold, and they run along Buckeye Road. Buckeye Road is going to be very, very, very busy. It's probably going to be 4 lanes. There's a lot more commercial coming in off those roads, a lot more development happening. So it is going to be like a Moccasin Wallow 2.0, if you will. So just note that, but all the ones along Buckeye Road have already been sold. There have been a few resales actually that have popped up in here recently. So, take a look at those on Zillow as well. But this would be a good option if you're trying to stay in a certain budget, again, and you don't need that fancy schmancy amenity center. And now we have Woodland Preserve, which is Coulter. So Coulter Homes, I would say, is the nicest of the builders. Like when you go into the models, like you are kind of wow. Like you're kind of wowed when you go into the models. Not to say Del Webb and Pulte are not nice, because you're kind of wowed in there too, but these are like, it's kind of like a higher echelon in my opinion. But the neighborhood itself is a lot smaller. It's more of a boutique community, if you will. They have Coulter has a 55 and older in Lakewood Ranch as well, and it's pretty small. You drive in and you do like one little loop. They're not going to have a restaurant. They're not going to have a bar, but they will have a pool. They will have pickleball courts, and they will have a fitness center. So if you are someone that's looking and you're like, no, I just want way more out of my house, I don't really care about the amenities, and they'll have events here. Don't get me wrong. They'll have an events coordinator. I'm sure they'll have, things going on to get the community together, but it's not, this community isn't really marketed towards someone that wants every single day something happening and something to entertain them. This is more like, hey, let's go to the pool. Hey, let's go to whatever event they have going on, or hey, let's go play pickleball. But you want more out of your home. I think you're going to get not a way nicer home. I shouldn't say that, but you're going to get a nicer home. You are going to get a nicer home here for a price point that you would pay in Del Webb, because you're not paying for the amenities. But you'll have a pool, a fitness center, pickleball courts, the typical amenities you will. There are models. Let's go with the homes. I wasn't going to get into the homes, but let's get into the homes a little bit. They offer a lot of 3-car garage options, and they also offer a side load garage option with a 3-car. Now, I can't tell you how many people call me a month and say, why isn't there any side load? Why isn't there any side load? That people just like the aesthetic of it. They offer this here. So the Laura is a beautiful home. And then they have the Rachel as well. But they do have a lot of 3-car garage options, which is nice to see. But if you go into the models, you'll see the difference when you go into like a Del Webb or the Lennar, and then you go into the models here. It's kind of like, wow, they're nice. But the site plan, the neighborhood itself, I'm going to be honest with you, it's a little lackluster. Like when you're driving in, you're not really wowed when you drive in. It's just kind of it's a nice neighborhood. Don't get me wrong. The houses are beautiful. The aesthetic's nice, as far as the, elevations of the homes go, but you're just not wowed by the lots. I think the home sites are really lackluster. There's a lot of interior home sites here, which is fine if you're trying to keep your price point down, but the neighborhood really doesn't have like a great flow to it, if you will. Like when you go into a Del Webb, it's like it flows really nicely, and the roads are curvy, and it feels more grand. It does. It feels more grand. I don't know what else to say. It feels more grand. This is very lackluster. Like when you drive through here, it's just kind of like, oh, okay, it's a neighborhood, But the homes will wow you more here, in my opinion. And they're still developing all around here. So they're adding this roundabout's under construction, and then it's going to loop up to Spencer Parrish Road. And then you have Canoe Creek is across the street, and then Twin Rivers and all that is over here too. So they're still developing. This is first phase. I think the future phase will probably have a lot nicer lots. I'll be honest with you. So if you can hold out a little bit until they start into that future phase, you might want to do that. Because again, this pond is very small. When I was driving in there, that pond it's narrow. It's very, very narrow. So just something to think about. But if you want a nicer home, I think that this is probably the route to take. But if you want that amenity rich type of lifestyle, I would think a Del Webb would be more in what you would want to look at. And let's see. So Del Webb, it's not Stone Creek, it's Sunchase. So it's the new Del Webb in Parrish. Let me show you. And it's next to Crosswind Ranch. I'm sure you've heard of Crosswind Ranch. It's off of 62, and it's right here. So it's called Del Webb Sunchase. So it's essentially, I was in the focus group for this neighborhood 2 years ago. It's been 2 years, holy moly. So the focus group 2 years ago, and basically they're footprinting Del Webb Bayview into this new Del Webb Sunchase. They do have a few more home options as far as what they're going to be offering as for specs and for to be built. So if you can see, they have a leisure and a passport series now. And I think so the Contour, Compass, and Hallmark they have at Del Webb Bayview. That's their scenic series. But now they're going to have a leisure series, which is Beechwood, Candlewood, Dalen. So it's really nice because they're offering more smaller homes, 1,500 to 1,400 square feet, which is nice because you only had the 3 options at Bayview, and then you had villas. So I think it's nice that they're offering a couple more smaller options, because if you are trying to downsize, you're coming down, you're trying to downsize, or maybe this is going to be a second home for you, it is nice to have a couple other options that are a little bit smaller. And then they have these 2 in the Passport series. These are 2 new houses that they don't have at Bayview either. Now, they haven't released pricing yet. I think pricing is going to be very similar to Bayview. I don't think that it's going to be any more expensive. I really don't. I think a lot of people were maybe speculating because it's next to Crossman Ranch in West Bay that it would be, but I really don't think it will. I think it's going to be very comparable to Bayview. Now, the neighborhood itself, there's no site map, obviously, on their website yet because they didn't release pricing. As soon as they release pricing, they'll release a site map. But this is the count. This is what was recorded for the county that I can pull up for you. It's a little bit small. It's smaller than Bayview, but it's still going to be nice. But I will say the lots offered here, the home sites here, are not going to be as nice as Bayview. And honestly, I don't think they're going to be as nice as Prosperity Lakes, quite frankly. Like, you'll see a lot of these interior lots. So typically the interior lots are going to be the smaller series of home. They're not going to put an echelon series of home in an interior lot. They typically just don't do that. So most of the interior lots are going to be the smaller homes. I don't think that there's a lot of preserve here. I don't think there's a lot of ponds. Like, if you can see, there's just a lot of interior. So I think you would get a nicer lot in Bayview that as opposed to this. So if you were maybe kind of looking at Bayview, but maybe even looking at a resale in Bayview, because there has been a decent amount of resales for sale and have closed in there, you're probably going to get a better lot in Bayview, I'll be honest with you. So if you're kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with this, I would kind of take a look at this map and see what you're going to get, because I feel like the Bayview neighborhood is probably laid out a little bit better. But the amenity center is going to be probably the exact same. Might be a little bit smaller because the neighborhood is a little bit smaller, but basically the footprint is going to be the same. That's what they do. Let's see. I mean, here they have like the pool is going to be a little bit smaller because the neighborhood's small. Okay, so here's a good one. Okay, so still pickleball courts. You're still going to have, but the pool is probably half the size. But you're still going to have the bar and restaurant. And then you're still going to have bocce ball. You're still going to have all that stuff, which is nice. I'm sure they'll still have food trucks. They're still going to have all the events and everything like that. But the neighborhood is going to be smaller. And the lots are a little bit not as nice as Bayview. But this is very exciting that there's going to be another Del Webb. So those are 55 and older. Those are your options for Parrish. If I can help you buy or sell a home in any of these neighborhoods or any other neighborhood, I live, work, and play here. I have 2 beautiful little boys that I'm raising in Parrish. So if I can help you achieve your goals here in Parrish or really Sarasota or up to my mama, I'm happy to help. I would love to answer your questions if you're not working with an agent already. Please give me a call. Thank you and talk soon.